So given what we have currently, are these changes, you know, good education and all the things we've discussed possible? Because we've been trying.
Before addressing your question, first of all, I want to put things into context. I think the expectations of Nigerians is completely out of context. Yes, we have struggled, but when you look at 57 years in the life of a nation, that nation is a toddler. We still have the first generation of Nigerians ruling us today. It is young officers of 1960 that are still out controlling everything that happens in this country.
Is that part of the problem?
No, it's not part of the problem. It is part of institution building. We need to transition from looking at individuals to building institutions, and it takes time to build institutions. The lawyers amongst us know that constitutions are just laws that are written. They can always be tested. It's only when you take it to the Supreme Court that now it becomes final. Now, when you look at the Supreme Court cases that we've had in this country, how many are they? There are always cases. Look at the fight against corruption of this government. Every time it starts, because we do not have the developed institutions, somebody challenges something and things are delayed because of that. So yeah. I'm coming. The point I'm trying to make actually is, I think we've done quite well within the period, considering that we've had 13 obstructions in this development over the last 57 years. And when you look at, I will agree with Toyesi on economy, on education especially, because we're here today because we're educated.
Okay,
that's
now,
the only reason we're here.
Now we've talked about all these things, but we seem to not be addressing the elephant in the room. And I don't know if you heard the clip that we played of the president's speech, where he talked about the fact that it will not be acceptable for anybody to start talking about the breaking up of Nigeria. So this issue of unity and the fact that in some quarters it is seen as something not to be discussed at all. Others feel that actually you should discuss it, even if it is to disagree on what the terms of the unity should be. Without addressing these fundamental issues, can we hope to actually, you know, move away from having this sort of crisis time and time again?
Now, to address that directly, I think it is part of the development struggle. Yes, it is good we have issues, but all those issues are created by lack of fair leadership. If people are treated fairly, if people are educated, if people are given what they feel they deserve, we will be a better nation. When you look at the diversity of our nation today, there's no nation that actually sat down and designed its own foundation. They all grew. Look at the diversity of the Americas today. Look at the diversity of China as it is today. It is when we develop the human beings, that is the best capacity that we have, the best potential we have in the country. That is when I feel we'll become serious about making anything. Look at now, for instance, I mean, for those of you, we have a budget.
I'm going to break, so I have to bring somebody in. So let me bring the Reverend in.
Permit me to strongly disagree with you. Between the years 1775 and 1776, a lot of the American peoples believed that they were not virtuous enough to have a nation of their own. It was a handful of people who educated them. And what those people did was that they wrote programs to reverse engineer a lot of the ills. Nigeria and America have very similar histories because of our colonial experience. Now, because of the colonial experience, people had an inferiority complex, just like we have, or we had too. But what happened was that a handful of Americans who had been enlightened and understood the factors of failure wrote a recovery program. And actually, that is what Nigeria too needs for us to resolve these issues. What America did was to address a foundation and design a foundation. It was not by luck.
But America, 200 years after independence, is now facing some serious crisis as well. And doesn't that sort of solidify his point, which is that we're very young?
The difference between America and Nigeria is what makes me angriest. The docility of Nigerians, the moral relativism, the fact that we don't know and understand.
We're 50 years old, is what he's saying.
It doesn't matter. Our age does not matter. All right? So I've just come back from the Harvard Kennedy School. Last week, the U.S. Secretary on Education went to Harvard Kennedy School to speak. And the students were protesting against some of the policies of the new government. In Nigeria, young people wait on politicians to give us money during elections. When you sit as trained bedfellows with politicians, how do you hold the same system accountable? That is my question. On one side.
But
on the other side...
Why would you find that surprising, given the level of unemployment, given the fact that sometimes...
Which is why I said that, you see, the sequential dictatorships that are disguised as democracies are more fragile than they appear. That's the truth.
Honorable?
On the issue you raised, I think that the president spoke about not allowing any discussion about dismemberment. Well, I consider that a point of view, because this...
To be fair to him, he did say he felt that there was a legitimate way to go about if people wanted constitutional changes.
Yes, what you call, there's a legitimate way, there's a constitutional way, all those things exist.
Yes.
But you cannot really suggest to 200 million Nigerians that each and every one of you cannot think in this way. No? If some people feel that they want a separate country, it's just a point of view. What you do is you get them to submit to the legal process. Because if somebody stands up in his bedroom and says, I don't want to be a Nigerian, how do you get everybody to say, I must be?
Okay,
so the important
we're going to stop here.
Yes, okay.
I'm going to stop you here because I have to take a quick break. Don't go away. Join us. We will continue talking after the break.